Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Haley, and this is the Dr. Haley Show podcast. Today's guest is Inesa Ponomariovaite, a holistic health expert and visionary. She is the founder and CEO of Nesa's Hemp and is a pioneering force in the CBDA hemp industry. She's revolutionized the field by introducing the world's first full-spectrum product certified by FDA-registered laboratories. Inesa's unwavering dedication to doing right extends beyond her groundbreaking products. She's deeply committed to environmental sustainability and ensuring that her offerings are eco-friendly. Inesa is on a mission to bring about a positive, revolutionary change in the world. Inesa, thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm excited about this conversation because I actually had a hemp product for a while. I stopped participating in that industry because I also have an aloe vera business, and I had some struggles with the hemp line. I guess the merchant processors and the banks, and they're just not quite ready for the industry. And they froze my accounts. PayPal froze our accounts, and we disappeared from Google. And I think it's an interesting business product line, so beneficial that it's almost like the people aren't ready for it yet. Have you had any issues with that in the industry?
Yeah, so thank you so much for having me here today. I'm definitely excited to be on the show. So talking about the industry is, yes, I had issues like all of us, right? And it wasn't easy to set up the bank accounts. But the bank accounts and credit processors are the last thing I care about. Because end of the day, it's just cashing up your dollars that you made in very dirty ways. So people like I'm sure in your aloe vera business, I'm sure you know there's a levels of quantity, and in cannabis business, levels of quality. In the cannabis business, levels of quality is very harmful. So with that being said, the industry itself is extremely in a bad position right now. So that hurts me. So seeing that these people can't process because they do sell very dangerous substance, it kind of almost makes me happy because you're not supposed to be selling what's in that bottle. You're gonna hurt consumers, and there is no regulations right now. There's no guidelines to follow. So, and if you don't care about the consumers and the outcome for their family and all what you care to take their dollar, most likely you're gonna hurt. Because with a hemp plant, it's very easy to hurt people because hemp plant by the nature, first of all, I love hemp plant. I love how this plant is magical and how much it does have to offer for us, and especially the history and how scalable this whole thing is. But I don't like everything what the industry is doing, because what the industry is doing is completely opposite what the hemp plant is actually meant to be or do. So, and one of the most magical things also about the hemp plant is an amazing soil cleaner. It's probably one of the best soil cleaners out there. So if you want to grow hemp plant for medicinal purposes, you gotta grow extremely careful, which is so hard. So hard. It takes years to prepare the soil. You have to watch the sky and make sure there's no chemtrails landing. I mean, there's just so hard because it's probably the best soil cleaner. So it grabs everything out there from the nature, metals, mold, everything. And
That's
it's
interesting.
Yeah.
So it's absorbing these things from the ground. So in other words, if I'm growing in a toxic environment, there's a good chance I'm going to absorb all those toxins into the hemp plant, is what you're saying.
Better than any other herb on the planet. Yes, wow. It's physically known as a soil cleaner. The hemp plant can be, first of all, hemp plant is essential to your body. You can sustain yourself without, and I'm happy to explain science behind. That's number one thing. Number two thing is hemp plant, you can clean your soil. You can also build your house from the hemp. You can also build a car and the batteries in the car. You can also have a clothing line, and you also can feed yourself. It's the one plant can do absolutely all. But the problem is, what we have on the market going on at the moment, not 99%, I'm talking about 100%. I'm talking about everything what's going on. All the genetics are engineered. Not single one plant on the market are sold that is not engineered. That means we're selling those high THC levels. Where does, in general, the cannabis and hemp came from? Like, why we split this whole thing into two categories? We always had only one thing, which is, hemp. That's it. The thousands of years we had only hemp. Now, from this one hemp, we created two categories because none of those are hybrids. None of those are natural appearing in the nature. So we created a bunch of hybrid. We soak them and grow them in a very toxic soil, and as a hemp, very magical to really like a sponge to grab everything. Then it becomes extra toxic because it grabs every possible thing. And now we're selling it as the most beautiful thing on the earth. And nobody talks about CBDs being a drug. Oh, we have this natural plant. It's not natural. If you can patent, you can patent. Why aloe is not patented today by pharmaceuticals?
Yeah.
Because it's natural. Why hemp is patented today as a CBD is a drug for epilepsy? It's called Epidiolex by Food and Drug Administration because it's not natural. Does not appear to be in the nature. It's a second form, and as you know, the whole country sells CBD. So that means the whole country sells drug again, pharmaceutical drug.
Well, help me understand. Is there a difference between the hemp plant and the marijuana plant?
Huge, absolutely.
Is that what we're talking about? Is the marijuana plant genetically modified, all of them, or in some cases?
So this is what happened in a history. We always had, for thousands of years, millions of years, hemp plant. The hemp plant was actually extremely low levels of THC. So with that being said, that means it's barely gonna make you high if you're gonna smoke it, if you will decide to add some extra carcinogenics in your lungs. So, but at least it keeps your brain on track and barely makes you high, and had all these beautiful medicinal properties, right, that are essential to our body, which is, we'll talk about this in a second because it's very important. So what happened about 100 years ago, they realized the whole benefits of the hemp plant. And what they did, which is again the same pharmaceuticals and the same people that loves us so much unconditionally, what they did, they actually separated the industry in two parts. It's called cannabis and hemp. So the hemp, the only differences between cannabis and hemp is that cannabis is actually full of very high levels of THC. THC is the part that's going to make you high. That's going to cause you that, some people get nausea actually. So, but the hemp plant is actually very low levels THC and full of medicinal portfolio. So now we separated industry in those two parts. Cannabis, we engineered in the lab. We never had these numbers of THC anywhere in the nature. Those are 100% lab made. And we have a hemp plant that's, there's a lot of discussion there.
I'm starting to understand. So is that the difference between hemp oil and CBD oil?
Oh, no, that's another topic.
All right. How is that related, and how is it not related? How is it another topic?
So let's make that, I'll try to make that simple as possible. If you take the hemp plant from the soil, like a full plant, and you hold in your hands from the stems to the roots to all the way to the top, leaves, buds, everything. So when you check the structure of this hemp plant, first of all, there's no CBD in it. It's never been, ever. Not even in THC loaded cannabis, there is never been CBD, and there's actually no THC, none of those. They have acidic cannabinoids, it's called CBDA, THCA. That's the original God's given hemp plant chemistry. But that chemistry cannot be patented by Food and Drug Administration because it's natural. It's stronger, it's more effective. So what happens is what they did, they actually took this plant, used lots of high temperatures, solvents, chemicals, and you name it, destroy the plant and destroy anyone who's going to take this plant, this final product, and turn CBDA into the CBD. So now you can patent the second version of this plant, which is CBD. And that's exactly what they did. If you go on a Smart Google is going to tell you that actual CBD is a compound patented by Food and Drug Administration as a drug for epilepsy. It's called Epidiolex. So what is the hemp plant? So what is the hemp oil? What is the CBD? CBD is just a one little tiny particle, a second version of original plant. What is the hemp oil? Hemp oil is, or must, if the companies don't lie, which is they have a full right to do since there is no regulations. Hemp blend is actually, the hemp oil is actually for everything what's there occurring naturally in the full plant. The same version should be in the final bottles called hemp oil. That means you should have all different cannabinoids, all different terpenes, the whole portfolio of medicinal profile from this plant. But again, you have to make sure it's clean, it's healthy, and make sure all of them are in it, because through extraction processes, if you're not careful, you can truly lose all of it and have barely a few cannabinoids left. There's like millions of them. So that's why I developed a product where we can have millions of them, because I couldn't find one hemp plant or hemp oil on the market that could really represent entire chemistry from the hemp plant to the finished bottle as a hemp oil. So
how many cannabinoids are there?
So they keep discovering new ones and new ones. As you know, we just allowed research to study this plant very recently in the United States. So they keep discovering new cannabinoids every month. I mean, it's an ongoing process right now. I think we know about 100 and change cannabinoids now, but I'm sure they'll discover another 1,000. But you see, it's very hard to discover something, because if you take the regular hemp plant that is, or hemp oil on the market, you extract where you lose very high portfolio of these cannabinoids, there's nothing left for you to study in the lab, on the research, because you just don't have them in front of you. There's nothing to study on. So that's why all these researchers love to take Nesa's product and try to discover new things that they never seen it before, because everything what's actually in the hemp plant, it's exactly in the bottle. You miss absolutely nothing.
All right. And just so I understand, you're saying leaves, seeds, the whole plant?
Yeah, we do use a little bit of the leaves. We try not to, because they just, I call waste. I'm really looking for only medicinal portfolio. There is some leaves, very, very, I would say less than 10% of the raw materials, but most I'm focusing on the medicinal portfolio, which is the buds.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about the endocannabinoid system and how cannabinoids are related to it?
My favorite question. Thank you so much. If you're gonna go to any doctor today, like 99% of the doctors in the world don't even know what is endocannabinoid system. So he's gonna say, what do you have in your body? You have an endocannabinoid system? So I love this question. So let's start from the beginning, so I don't sound very confusing here. About 40 years ago, this beautiful, wonderful, smart man in Israel, Professor Raphael, he discovered, it's called human endocannabinoid system by accident, actually. And he's the one who really was, recognized for that, and he became a Nobel Prize winner multiple times. So he's a godfather for this whole discovery in the cannabis industry. He just actually passed away recently. But what happened is no one in the world knew about the endocannabinoid system until he really officially discovered. So what happened is now we know there's no science on this planet can come to you or me and say, you lying, there is no such thing as endocannabinoid system. This is so widely approved and proven fact. So what we also discovered that endocannabinoid system, and we keep discovering every single day more and more, is responsible to control hundreds, not of thousands of other systems in your body. So that means it's a one main system that really regulates additional hundreds of systems. Your spleen, your central nervous system regulates in a second, which is a big deal. We're talking about depression, shootings in the school, right? Then we're talking about your brain, we're talking about your gut, we're talking about your actually microbiome exchange. We just had new discovery recently that you can exchange good and bad bacteria, microbiome, it flows much better when you actually take cannabinoids. So what endocannabinoid system does, it truly, your whole life depends on it. What happens is when you were born, just like a baby, God says, I love you so much, and he gave you this beautiful system. So now you live your life as a kid, you eat the ice cream, you get exposed to the heavy metals, you shower yourself in the tap water that is loaded with toxins. Now you start losing the production of those cannabinoids if you own cannabinoid and the endocannabinoid system. So when you start producing, when you stop losing those cannabinoids in your own system, what happens? You're gonna start falling apart. Like now you're deficient. When you are deficient of cannabinoids that are must to be in your system to control and regulate your entire body, now you start having these weird symptoms. Moods, nervous systems, or gut issues, prostate issues, whatever, all kinds of symptoms. You go to the doctor, he loves you so much, he gives you a pill. So he gives you a drug, he doesn't even know what the endocannabinoid system even is. So what happens is what we noticed, when we actually empower people endocannabinoid systems, half of their life issues goes away almost immediately.
You know, it's interesting because doctors have identified an opioid system, you know, and they make chemicals and drugs that would interact with that. How could they not recognize cannabinoid, the endocannabinoid system?
This is why, you know, it's because if we recognize the endocannabinoid system today, for me, it's even illegal to go on a mainstream media and talk and educate American people or anyone out there, but I'm talking about mainstream American media about endocannabinoid system. So it's a federally illegal thing. It's federally illegal for you to, as you said, have a bank systems. It's illegal for you to really sell in certain states. Federally, be still illegal on this topic. And this essential thing to your body for you to be alive. It's almost like air, water, and food.
We're putting it on YouTube, so hope they don't block us. Is it the same stigma on the endocannabinoid system and hemp plant? Did you have that in Lithuania too, like we did here in the United States?
Yeah, actually really started in around Mongolia. It started in the Russia. The first original plant genetics are coming from that region. So I know from the history, and I had to really study a lot to really, in order to create the best product on the market, with those original genetics and roots and everything. But the problem is we are also suppressed with information. So it was like a big gap where people didn't know about this, it just vanished. And now when we bring information back and when we remind this to grandparents, they do remember. They say, oh yeah, that was a thing, of course, that was like part of our lives. Or just like removing the parasites is the same thing. Everybody was deworming each other once a year. Right now, it's not even such thing. So with that being said, I am refreshing it, but we started in that region. But the problem is, the information was removed worldwide, and we lost track.
Okay, Can you hold your product up to the camera so we can see what it looks like?
Yeah, absolutely.
And, okay, and great. And I can't see quite that well. What does it say on it? It's called
It's full spectrum hemp extract. So when I say full spectrum, there's a reason why we said full twice, because there's a lot of products on the market that they claim to be full spectrum. So we say we're full spectrum, because they lose all these terpenes and cannabinoids and they call themselves full spectrum. And I'm like, no, like this is not true. Like if you're full spectrum, how's come you lost half of the portfolio from this chemistry from the full hemp plant? So that's why actually we named it full spectrum hemp extract. Yes. But the most beautiful part about this product is this specific magic number on below on the bottom, because this number, it represents actually the lab results that are tested by multi-awarded FDA registered labs that don't fake any data. I mean, which is great.
Mhm.
And in the parts per billion from every possible microtoxin, toxin, metals, and everything. I called out so many companies in the United States and I said, and people say our product is better, God bless you. Don't tell me anything. Don't tell me, show me. Please do the lab results like apples to apples, match to ours, and we will see what's in your product.
Yeah.
Because I know I investigated the industry. I was a police officer. I went through every possible farm. I went through manufacturers. I went through laboratories. I spent thousands of dollars on this research. So the most beautiful thing is you have lab results that are really backing you up. Each bottle that goes on the market, pages and pages of testing.
Yeah, I know a lot of the companies will do testing of the cannabinoids that are in it, but not necessarily, and they'll kind of list and say there's this in it and there's that in it, but don't do the toxin, heavy metal testing or anything like that. So that's wonderful.
They're loaded. They're all loaded. I offered $10,000 for any company in America for free. CBD companies, about 10,000 CBD brands out there. I said, I'll give you $10,000 if you're going to do exact same lab results in testing, what exact we do, and show me what you have. The exact same laboratory, because that's the lab that doesn't lie. I checked all the labs in America, they all lie. So they can ask a couple $100 to fake the lab results. I'm like, oh my gosh. Some of them, the funny part is, some of them actually don't even ask you anything. They say, what do you want your labs to look like? There's labs in Oregon. You call the lab and say, I just shipped a bottle. And they say, okay, tell us what you would like to look like. So you come up with your own magic numbers and laboratory will give you the report.
Wow. I've never heard of that before. I know that, you can buy credentials and, you can get titles and by sending fees over and, I can be a reverend tomorrow or I could be, a doctor or whatever the case I want to be. I just have to pay the right fee for it. I never heard of that coming on lab results, and wow. So thank you for sharing that. What about when you get a good product, a good CBD or hemp oil, what is a proper strength of it? Because a lot of products have 100 milligrams, 200 milligrams, 1,000 milligrams. There's all different strengths. What's the right amount for someone to have?
It's a really good question. And the right amount is exactly how much you're missing in your body. First of all, you never take just one solo cannabinoid CBD. It's almost, you're not going to really get much of the benefits, right? You want synchronicity in the body happening as all cannabinoids connect together. So the only one way to know what's your strength is to take the product and see if you feel the results. If you don't feel the results, you need to actually increase the dose. And this is why. Because you do produce your own cannabinoids in your own body. That's a discovery was done a long time ago. So, but we don't know how much do you have left, how much you are deficient. Each person is deficient differently. Some of those people are like an emergency SOS. They're how much they need of cannabinoids. I had someone who had probably zero cannabinoids left in their body, and their endocannabinoid system was screaming for cannabinoids. So from the moment we gave him a full dropper, This person got his legs back, walking back, sleep back within a week. He was like FaceTiming and live Zooming and you know on Facebook and things like that, showing the world how he can run again. He couldn't even walk.
Wow.
So it's you see, each person is very, we don't know the deficiency in your body, so we don't know how much do you need. A lot of times people create these 2,000 milligrams, 5,000 milligrams because the product is synthetic. Your body rejects, your body doesn't take, doesn't absorb, so they keep increasing the higher dose. They're creating this bioavailability. This is a nature's bioavailability. If you do what's right, then your biological body connects with another biological being. They really recognize each other. Your job is, and they connect, right? They connect and they create the magic in the body within a minute. Sometimes for some people take a little longer time, but I seen magic happening in 15 seconds. So from the moment you put the thing under the tongue. So with that being said, as long as the product is nice and clean and certified, and if it's a full spectrum I'm talking about, you really should never wait forever results. It's just impossible. And the good news, when you empower that endocannabinoid system 3 months straight, I love it. I can't live without, you know, I told you I didn't sleep much last night. I just put some oil so I can continue speak today. And it's helping my voice. It's helping me to continue speak here today. So, but it's really for everything. You have ear infection, you put the little drop in your ear. You want to get rid of your wrinkles, you put it on your face. You want to actually improve your prostate, you put, you know, use it for the prostate. So it's incredible how many uses it has. So it's a beautiful thing, and the dosage is very hard to tell. If you take the right quality, you should be satisfied with the little amounts.
You know, I know a lot of people are using it for treatment, either of or during cancer treatments, and you have your own personal story related to this. Is it helping people recover, or is it helping them with the symptoms, or what's the benefit in the cancer industry, or in just for people that want to use it as they're fighting cancer?
I still work with cancer up to today. Very fully active on cancer in the cancer world. It does help a lot with the symptoms. And I don't want to make any claims here, but I've seen beautiful results also where people take very large doses because cancer is a mutated cell. But it doesn't, people are seeing improvements. And as I said, like, yes, I helped my mom, but my mom's story was just the beginning of my journey to the cancer industry. And we helped on our hundreds and hundreds of people. So, and when I say helped, we didn't help them to live for a couple of months and they died later. These people are still living their lives happy and healthy. So I shared my experiences, I helped people, but I don't want to make any claims, but I've seen a beautiful results. So and I still seeing it because I'm still hands-on with cancer.
Yeah, you know, and we're similar. You can see in the image behind me, there's aloe vera growing in the picture behind me. And that's my industry. And people use it for helping during cancer. And there's definitely scientific reasons why it would benefit their immune systems and help them fight that. There's no single magic cure. And then the other thing we see, when you give people what they need, they do a lot better, whether they're going to, survive and beat, or just do better while they're here, or their remaining days and years be improved and less pain and less suffering. So yeah, we can't make claims. We've seen some wonderful things. We see people get well and get healed. And whether it's one thing that was missing that they found that's meeting their needs, or a combination of all the changes, you know.
One thing I have to say, I also run this transformational group. It's called Regenesis 369. And when you go to Regenesis 369, we guarantee results. Like for anything you have, and we literally reverse people's gray hair. Someone who's like 60 and change. And
sign me up.
yeah. It's Regenesis 369 before the prices goes up, because the price is actually going up. Right now we have a very funny price at the moment because we're building this major global platform, but it's gonna go up soon. But with that being said, we guarantee 100% results. And actually, Aloe is in my programs that I developed all these strategies, how to overcome and hack the human body from every possible symptom you can have and live healthy forever and never ever fear disease. So aloe is one of those things, is a must to happen on Regenesis 369 for sure. I think those are scheduled for the smoothies, yeah. So it's a beautiful thing. Thank you for bringing the product on the market, because it's really needed.
No, thank you. And I'll have to look that program up, the Regenesis 360. That's interesting. Now, and I think you said reversing the hair color change, right? Or was it stopping, or can people that are gray go back to full color hair?
Reversing the glasses, reversing the vision, reversing anything. We basically putting you back in the baby track. It's the way you were born, and people are actually losing the wrinkles. I have a gentleman, he's 50, he's about 50, and he had some few deep wrinkles, and those are gone too.
I'm definitely gonna look it up. You know, I could look in the mirror and say, okay, Mike, for your age in your later 50s, you're doing pretty good. But I know you can do better. And yes, I am starting to grow gray here, and I don't want to go, I want to keep my hair color and stuff. I'm glad I still have hair. But I want to do better, and we can all do better. So I'm interested in that program. I'm sure a lot of people that are listening are going to say, hey, I want to find out more about that too. And I've heard that people can, reverse their vision loss.
We did in all of them in our Regenesis 369. Yeah, that's exactly what we do. We literally put you back on the track. I tell people all the time, when they come to us, when they officially come to us, because we reject certain people, we want to make sure it's a good fit. So with that being said, when people come, they give us a wish list. And sometimes I'm shocked they want only 3 things to achieve in their goals. I'm like, give us a longer wish list. This is boring. Like, give us something more fun to work with. Do you want to increase your awareness? Do you want to increase your, spirituality? It's in Regenesis 369, everything is possible.
Yeah, I love that. And to me, that's a good measure too. Like, how clear is your thinking? Are you irritable? Are you able to focus? Can you hold a conversation? And a lot of people can't. I heard a comedian say something about, the new GPS system that is coming out for elderly people. It tells you not only where you're going, but reminds you when you get there why you went. A lot of people aren't having that clarity of thought, and they're going through their day and they get somewhere and they're like, why did I even come here? So I get it.
I'm actually taking a case study right now. I'm bringing 4 top most known in my country, and some of them in the United States, professors, experts. You call them leaders of the globe, in one category. I just can't tell you which one yet, because I don't want anyone to stop me in the process right now. But there's a disease related to the brain. I can, something where you can forget things quite often. And they say it's never been cured. It's impossible to cure. And I'm documenting right now 2 people, and I'm going to show the world how this is nothing but a big scam, in my opinion and my experiences. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And I'm documenting right now those top experts in the world. So, and that's what I mean in the process. So when you talk about the memory loss and things like that, that's again a choice. Everything is choice. If you're miserable on something, it's your choice, because you have a solution for everything. And I'm not saying because I was miserable my entire life. My whole family was putting to death too. All of us are life. I'm running 24/7 schedule, 7 days a week. And funny part is, longer I don't sleep, I don't want to sleep. I know I need to sleep. I know I have to recover my body. But to be honest with you, I'm doing amazing without. I'm really doing. Energy is like floating. You just say, God, more energy. He opens the doors, gives you more. That's how you feel. But except, it's like God is giving you, your body is loaded with this energy. You can run 24/7. And people say, oh my gosh, so how you do it? I just designed my life this way because I chose to have this life, and I paid the price for it. I took my body as my temple.
And you're giving it what it needs.
Absolutely. It's the most important, because when you're coming from where your endocannabinoid system is messed up, when your cells are mutated, when you're loaded with toxins, the parasites controlling your brain, your gut, inflammation, you go to the doctor, he says you have a little lesion in your liver. No, doctor, I have a liver flukes on my liver. That's why I love this ice cream so much. You know, like, why don't you tell me that? We're not in third world country. Oh, well, one sushi roll contains 10,000 larva eggs of parasites. We don't have to go in third world country, and to be in a third world country, we just go in a nice, like fancy sushi restaurant, but loading ourselves with the parasites, and those parasites taking over our temples. And what they do now, control your relationships, finances, your moods, your everything. My brother's girlfriend, she just landed from China a couple of weeks ago. She came in America. I literally took pictures of this girl. I was like, I could not believe she's even real. Swollen, unhappy, sad, don't know why she's crying. I said, listen, girl, we're gonna do 4-day thing here. Only 4, because after 4 days I'm traveling and I have things to do. So I'm gonna be around the house for 4 days. You're gonna do everything what I told you for 4 days. And guess what?
Transformation.
Doesn't even know. She's like, well, I'm so happy. I want to do all these things. Now I want to do this. She's like, 4 days. It's like, girl, what happened if I went through the whole transformation process? You would be having rebirth all day long. Yeah. So with that being said, when you give the body what it needs, you immediately have results. So when people saying God is punishing me, God, the universe is so bad for me, I'm so unlucky. No, it's your choice. We proved this 1,000,000 times. It's your choice to be sick, because you have solutions.
Yeah, God loves you, and he gives you a lot of choices, and sometimes we don't make the best choices, and there's consequences with them, with the decisions we make. I agree with you too. You mentioned that the doctors will say this is terminal, and they base that on seeing so many people with that condition and offering medicine to them that fails. So it's terminal because they haven't found anything that can change the course of that. But if we go back and say, okay, what's the body missing and what's getting in the way? Let's remove the interference and give it what's missing. All of a sudden, things start working like they're supposed to. So I don't buy that anything is terminal, and there's literally nothing that can't be turned around. I would say sometimes there's a point of no return. There's, people will get to a point where it's like, okay, you're completely shut down and we're artificially supporting your life, essentially. Your liver and your kidneys and everything aren't doing anything. How can we put, there's a point in time that people can get to, but when you're in that process and you found that you're sick, but your body is still working, we can turn it around.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's no questions about it. That's my life. That's what I do. That's
good
like
stuff.
Yeah, and I seen it all the time. The funny part is, I tell people all the time, where you been? Why are you guys always coming to me when it's like 5 minutes left in your life? Like, why? Where you been before you saw all these doctors all over the world, before you did all these things? Why are you always coming to me when it's last minute? So that's why I created Regenesis 369, because like, okay, when you're already feeling bad, when something isn't right, when the doctors can't find solutions, why don't we reverse everything now before it gets completely terminal? That's what the Regenesis is for, actually, where you can stop the progress where it's about to become But the beautiful thing is I'm actually about to release this beautiful device where we can prevent, the CT scans in the medical industry, or like, PET scans or anything. You capture the disease only when it's been minimum 8 years in your body. So why don't we have a technology, which is, thank God, we're about to have one. I'm actually going to be having one myself too, where it catches the cell before it's actually going to happen in the first year. Why do you want to wait those 8 years and still feel no energy? Something is wrong with me. I don't sleep well. That means your body's struggling with something. It's a sign. It's a sign that says, please, dear, do something. You see, I'm giving you signs, but you're not listening. Hello, I'm calling you saying you have a headache. There's a reason why. If you have a frequent headaches all the time, if you have a periods on pain, if you have frequent bathroom or whatever, there is a problem. And the body's telling you, but like we can catch it early, we can stop it, but you go to the doctor, he gets you only when it's terminal. That's what the technology is designed to do, to find these disease when it's terminal, not when it's starting it, because nobody wants to prevent you, because they're going to lose you as a customer for life. When people come to Regenesis 369, I tell them all the time, I said, I want to make sure you never depend on me, ever. I want to make sure you never depend on this program. After 6 months, when we give you full transformation, you never have to come back to doctor or Regenesis or anyone out there in the world. You're living your full empowered life with the health and transformation.
What is the 369?
It's the key to universe, because that's exactly what we give to people. And Nikola Tesla, he's my favorite person in the world. He's my hero, after God, of course. But he's my favorite man. So he's the one who discovered this, and I understand the secrets behind 369. But that's exactly what we do. We give people the key to their life, and it's like you can develop whatever you want, your finances, your health, your relationships, because all of them do. We're seeing it every day. So with that being said, like that's why 369 is in the name of Regenesis, which is basically rebirth within key to entire universe, and you choose which doors you want to open.
Okay, very, very neat. Well, I know you have a hard stop time coming up quickly, and I've been a little selfish in my questions. I just asked things that I wanted answers to, but I probably missed some important stuff. Maybe, is there anything you wish I asked you?
I'm sure you asked what was important, and there's a lot we can talk forever. I just want to say the new is coming, so I want to probably prevent as much as possible, since my mindset is always in prevention. Water is a big thing. I want to make sure everyone in the United States anyone who's listening, getting the best water system that cleanses your bugs, your medications, your bacteria, parasites, because the new thing is coming, will be spread through the water. So we already know that. Actually, some doctors even know that's funny. So be careful. Make sure you really take care of your water systems before October, December, to stay away from this.
Okay, and if anyone's listening in later in time, we're talking in 2023 right now, and we're in September already. So great. Inesa, thank you so much. But before I close, give me all of the best places to go for the websites and product. If they want to find your product, if they want some now, is it in inventory currently? Is there a back order? What's going on?
At the moment, it's a back order, but we're gonna be back in stock by end of the actually early October in 23. Yes. So
the website is
Nesa's Hemp. It's NES Nesa's Hemp.com, or for Regenesis, if someone is interested, it's Regenesis 369.
Right. Okay. With that, this will be on YouTube. It'll be on the podcast channel. I'll put the links, locations in the description below, whatever method you're using to watch this or listen to. So, Inesa, thank you so much, and blessings. Keep it up. I love it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here today and allowing to educate the audience.